Hello everybody, it's Daniel here, bringing you a Team Fortress 2 gameplay commentary once again. And we've got a massive update on our hands, the Love and War update. Or as I kind of prefer to call it, the Bread-pocalypse, because, let's face it, bread has been kind of a thing in Team Fortress 2 now, and it's getting kind of silly, because bread-based weaponry, that's a thing now. I don't think anyone really expected that, but apparently it is now, so Team Fortress 2, everybody, definitely the silliest of shooters. Probably made in Camelot, who knows? Very silly place. And that's not to even mention the conga lines and the fat engineers that are just sitting in deck chairs on pretty much every server now. It's kind of fantastic, everything that's been added. Like, even the hats and miscellaneous items for this, they're kind of great. I love the taunts more than anything, because we haven't really had taunts in forever. I think the last one we got was actually the laughing one, which... Oh, God. Oh, wait, no, sorry. It was the one with the electric guitar, but that was about a year ago now, I think, so it's definitely been a while for taunts. But apparently that's all revamped now. We've got like 10 of the things, which is kind of ridiculous in itself. But then on top of that, perhaps more important than anything, we've got new weapons added to the game. And let me tell you, they are kind of amazing, and they are really, really fun to use. And as you can see here, I'm playing about with the parachute and the new rocket launcher, the airstrike. And they're just so much fun. Like, these are really, really fun weapons to use. It's like, I'm someone who's rubbish with rocket jumps, so the parachute just works wonders for me. And I can kind of just go up into the air and just mess about the place. I'm, of course, playing on Hightower for this, because it's kind of the best map for it. Like, you're not going to get a better map than Hightower, just a rocket jump all over the place. And especially with this now, like, you can kind of just, like, hover over, like, their exits from spawn. And you can kind of just launch a couple of rockets down on them and just dash from above. Like, seriously, it's kind of insane how much damage you can do with this thing. Because, like, paired with the rocket launcher, because it's actually a really good rocket launcher, I gotta say as well. It's kind of like a beggar's bazooka for the air. But you start with 3 rockets, and for every kill you get an extra rocket added onto that. And it goes up to 8 rockets, which is kind of insane considering the rate that you fire these things on. So you can almost kill a heavy with 1 shot just with that, provided you land like the bulk of your shots. But you can really just sweep, like, you can cause, like, sweeping strikes, and you can just take out the enemy team before they even get near you. And then, because you got the base jumper, you can kind of just glide away to safety. And it's kind of just fantastic. You're just, like, if you've ever wanted to be an air bomber, now's your chance for Team Fortress 2, because we've got the support for it. Sadly, there is a couple of downsides with it. Main one being is that you don't get to use something like the buff banner with it, because ideally you want the parachute with this, just so you have more airtime. And that's kind of where the Beggar's Bazooka now actually has its own little niche, and it doesn't really encroach on it in that sense. Like, they're both still kind of viable, and it's mainly because of that support, like, for an extra banner. But this is still a really cool weapon, and I'm just having so much fun with it. Like, you should definitely check out a Hightower server if you can right now, because I guarantee you, everyone is just using this. Everyone's just kind of gone over to the new update weapons. Like, there's soldiers everywhere, there's demo knights, they're everywhere now, because we got that new amazing shield. There's scouts that are pretending to be spies. That's kind of cool and really weird to see. And believe it or not, we've got support for 360 no-scope snipers. That's actually viable now. That's kind of insane. Like, it's something that you always just joked about before, but now you can actually pull that off. That's just incredible, and it's so stupid as well. I gotta admit, it is very, very silly, but... It's kind of amazing that it's in it, and I have been actually 360 no-scope quite a few times now, and it's just so embarrassing when it actually happens, but it's so amazing as well. Like, I love TF2 for these kind of things. It's also kind of insane to think just the amount of support that this game is still getting. Like, this came out in 2007, beta probably a bit before that, but if you count that year as well, we are 8 years in, and we are still getting major content updates. Like, forget your like yearly Call of Duties and Battlefields now. This is kind of an insane amount of support, and it's just so great for the game, because, like, we've got so much built up on top of this now. Like, it's just continually added to. Like, we've got so many options for every single class now. So many hats, and so many just different game modes. And it's all just kind of fantastic. Like, I love the amount of support this game has actually gotten. And this update, like, I really feel that it's just a fair bit of fan service going on from Valve's part. Like, even the short that they kind of premiered it with, if you haven't seen it, by the way, expiration date, really look that up. Like, even if you're not in the Team Fortress 2, it's hilarious. Like, this, you can just kind of pick out the lines that are going to be taken up by, like, source filmmakers and are just going to be used, like, for the next couple of months. Seduce Me, of course, is going to be standing out quite a bit there. But it's an absolutely hilarious short. It's 15 minutes long. Do give it a go. And yeah, it really does feel like there's a lot of fan service going on. It's like the taunts as well when you look at that. The fact that it is really creative weapons. Like, it's nothing that's just like a bland variation on anything. These are all very distinct things. And then, of course, you just got the ridiculous like kinds of hats. And I've mentioned the Fat Engineer already. If you haven't seen Jerma's videos, it's just hilarious. It's so stupid, but it's so funny as well. And it really does feel like this is just kind of like a fan service update. And if you pair this as well with the other updates that we know are coming out soon, like End of the Line, that's still being worked on, and we've kind of got confirmation that that's going to add a couple of new weapons as well, down to new hats and whatnot, because every update does that. That's on its way. We've got a moon base, which is in the works, which I've got no idea what to expect from moon base. I'm guessing it's going to be some kind of anti-gravity shenanigans, but it just looks really cool, and I'm actually really excited for that. So we've still got those two major content updates on the way, and something I have been kind of just trying to spot, because we've always got this with TF2, it's always these like alternate reality games going on. Like, this update was hinted at for years, by the way. It was like bred little tidbits and loads of little update previews. But I've been trying to spot if there's actually anything else that we should be paying attention to, and I can't really see anything as of yet, so I'm not too sure, but there may be something that's just kind of gone under the radar for me, but there's definitely going to be some sort of update like that in future again, because it's what Valve seems to do now. Like, it happened with MVM, it's happened with this. It's kind of amazing, and it's so much fun as well. Like, it gets people really excited, and it's great. I've got a couple of other taunts as well, just now that we've seen everything that's been coming out with this update, and it's just little extra bits that didn't happen for this update, and I was actually genuinely surprised by, because we've been waiting for this to happen for quite a while. And one of them is the mini dispenser. So there was actually a patch just a while back where it actually changed the metal count when you have the gunslinger for dispensers to 70. And most people took that as like a clear indication that the mini dispenser was like almost ready to be added. It was just patched in a bit too soon. But it's not here, and thank God it's not as well, because dear God, we don't need more mini sentries on every map, because everyone have the freaking gunslinger, dear God. But we're still kind of expecting that one to come. Like, it's been top of workshop forever now. Like, Valve has definitely acknowledged it. Like, heck, it's the preview thing, I think, for the TF2 workshop, like, on Steam. So, like, if they're previewing it as, like, this is, like, what the workshop represents, like, surely they're gonna add it at some point. And that seemed to be almost a confirmation of it, but apparently it's not being added just yet. But we'll keep an eye on that one, though, because that still may happen. And it'd be a nice little nerf as well for the gunslinger, because mini sentries are quite powerful. They, honest to God, are. Another thing that is also that wasn't added with this update, surprisingly, is the Dr. Grodbot weapons, because we've still got an item set for the Medic and the Scout that have been on there forever now. They were designed by the same guys that made the last 3 Dr. Grodbot sets, and they're still not in the game, which is kind of surprising. Like, you think they would have been added at some stage, but they're still up on Workshop, though, and again, they're like one of the top voted things, and they're just kind of sitting there. So I'm not really sure what's going on with those, but I'm kind of expecting them to be added probably in the Christmas update, because that's when they add the last 2. Although, then again, I think people have been expecting them to be added, like, for the past 2 Christmases as well. It's always a mentality. It seems to originate from, like, World War I or something, where you just expect it to be done by Christmas. And it just doesn't happen for, like, 4.5 years. And millions of lives are lost. So, thanks, TF2 Workshop. Oh, God. That can't possibly be misinterpreted. Dear God. Couple of other things I will say about this weapon, though. It kind of eats ammo, like, to a ridiculous extent, because you've still got the regular amount of rockets, but you're firing like 8 of them in one go sometimes, and so you're not going to have a lot of ammo for this. I found the Hightower is like one of the ideal maps for it, just because you got ammo packs like abundant, and health packs as well, because like you have to do that initial rocket jump, and you definitely don't have the gunboats, so you're going to take quite a bit of damage. So, like, it really does, like, eat health and ammo, but it's just so much fun to use. Like, it really is. A couple of nice little extra things I found out about it is, if you actually light someone on fire, I don't actually have a clip of this, but I wish I did. If you light someone on fire, though, it's akin to a hot air balloon, where you actually just, like, start, like, rising up into the air, and it's just hilarious. You can still, release the parachute and get down to the ground that way, but that's such a nice little extra that they add in. It's just so cool. Like, you could just, like, send soldiers up into the air like that. And if they don't cop it soon enough, like, they're kind of a sitting duck for pyros. And heavies as well. Like, if you just focus them, like, you're practically dead with this thing. Like, it's like, you move, like, quite slowly. Like, well, descend quite slowly. So you're quite easy to shoot in that sense. Like, you're not moving as fast as you would with just a standard rocket jump. So, again, there's a bit of balance going into it. But personally, I do actually think that this might get a slight little downgrade in the near future. And I think it might just be a limit for the amount of time you can actually use the parachute. because it's just kind of insane the amount of damage you can actually cause with this thing right now. I'm very tempted to even use it like with just like a standard rocket launcher as well, just because like you could cause just a bit of extra damage. Like imagine this with a direct hit as well. Like it's kind of just insane about how much damage you can cause with this thing. Like it gives you so much more airspace, and there's not a lot to compete for that area of the skies. Like Demo Man gets the parachute as well, sure, but he has nowhere near as much control as Soldier does, just because like you just have such good aim with your rockets. And tragically as well, the sticky bombs, well, they were nerfed, but we'll get to that in a future video. That's another issue. But anyways, that's going to be it for this commentary. I had so much fun using this weapon, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely check it out. There's a bunch of cool new things in the game right now, and of course I'll be covering over the next week or so. So goodbye, and thank you so much for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Stuart, what the fuck are you doing in my room?